Presentable Liberty was an indie game released in 2014 with PlayStation 1-like graphics where you are completely isolated, your only form of communication is through letters, and also you can avoid being infected by a deadly virus. Wait, 2014? It's true, here's 2014 Markiplier for proof. This game really did come out 5 years before COVID ever happened, and do you really need me to sit here and spell out the similarities to this game's very premise? And the PlayStation 1 graphics craze really only started in the 2020s. By all means, this game feels like it should have came out in the last 5 years, but it didn't. It came out a decade ago. But you know, that's neat and all, but is that all the game has going for it?
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh God! Ah!
No, not at all.
How can a game with the graphics of Lego Island
It definitely left an impression that, unfortunately, like a lot of indie games, has been forgotten over time. If this game seems interesting to you at all, I would strongly encourage you play it. You have nothing to lose. The game's only like an hour or two long and it's free, so please go play it, because I am going to spoil, quite literally, the entire game. Also, it does cover some really dark topics like self-harm and suicide, so if that would make you uncomfortable, here's your chance to back out now. Still here? Okay, let's begin. The game starts with you locked in a prison cell, and you aren't getting out. I hope you weren't expecting an open world game, because this is it. This cell is your world. The only thing you're accompanied by is a bed and a clock. That is, until you get a letter. It's from a man named Salvador, our friend and the only character we have any sort of connection to prior to the game's events. Salvador asks us how we are enjoying rotting in a cell before announcing that he is gonna go for another one of his journeys, since he is not only Salvador, but Salvador the Traveler. He also seals within one of his letters the only living thing we get to see in this entire game. A bug friend. I'll name mine Hornet, for no reason in particular. You won't see Hornet much anyway, since she hid under my bed for pretty much the entire playthrough. Our next letter actually is not from Salvador, but from a Dr. Money, which provides some exposition for the game's general setting. Good day. We are happy to inform you that you have been selected by me, Dr. Money, to join an exclusive program for inmates all over the country. We have noticed that due to the recent outbreak of a terrible virus, the population of our beautiful nation has started dwindling. This is unfortunate, but there is still hope. You. Recent studies show that 98% of our great nation's population is already infected with the virus. Incidentally, many of the remaining 2% are prisoner inmates like you. We hope that you continue to be vigilant and remain healthy. In order to fight depression and suicidal thoughts and the dire situation you have found yourself in, you will be assigned your own personal happy buddy. Trademark. Enjoy. As off-putting as being assigned a happy buddy to make sure you keep living is, this character's introduction shows us very quickly that he is very invested in his job. Hello, I am your own personal happy buddy. Trademark. I have a present for you. 5 confetti poppers. Have fun! There is only 5 of them though, and you never get any refills, so you better use them wisely to celebrate, or you can be like me and keep accidentally wasting them until they are all gone. To add insult to injury, there is no place for the confetti to go, so once you use it, your floor is just covered for the rest of the game. But that's fine, right? Who needs clean floors when you can just be happy? Hello, my buddy friend buddy. Did you enjoy the confetti? If so, I have another present for you. It's a Dr. Money portable entertainment machine. Game included. Have lots of fun. This is honestly just a Game Boy. The single game it has is just a weird version of Snake. And let me tell you, if it looks to you like I'm struggling to play these games in the footage, it's because I am. But hear me out, it's not my fault. The controls, even on keyboard, are incredibly touchy, and I wasn't playing with a keyboard. I was playing with a controller. This game doesn't support controller, so I mapped WASD to my left stick, and I did not map it to my D-pad. So trying to play this already touchy game with an analog stick was awful. It did not work well at all. So that's my excuse, but feel free to call me bad in the comments. Salvador has been continuing his travels, but he sends us a little gift, a painting that's like 4 times the size as the letter itself. Okay, so here is where I kind of need to address the elephant in the room, at least this elephant. There's another one that I'm choosing to ignore for now. Presentable Liberty is not a perfectly logical game. For example, there is no toilet in our cell, and we aren't even given food, so how are we even alive? These two inconsistencies aren't really important. I mean, we can just write it off as video game logic. After all, would the game be improved if a toilet was in our cell, for example? I don't think so. It would actually be worse because you'd have even less room than you already do. However, there is stuff that matters a lot more, like the letters. How are they being delivered? How are people fitting such large objects in them? Later on, characters send you letters when they really should not have time to. Why? The logistics of being a prisoner didn't really matter, but this stuff is integral to the entire game's narrative. So it's alarming that the entire letter system does not really make sense taken literally. But what if we don't take it literally? What if the letters are just a metaphor for text communication in general, specifically texting? Now I know I might be stretching a bit, and trust me, it's gonna get worse. But when you look at the way these letters are presented, they kind of come off more as text messages than actual letters. For example, a lot of characters will send multiple short letters with the same train of thought, which doesn't really make sense. If you had multiple things to say, why wouldn't you put it in a single letter? However, that is actually incredibly common in text messages. It would also explain how characters are sending messages in situations where they really shouldn't be able to. Plus, texting is really just a faster and more streamlined version of email, and guys, do I really need to tell you how email might be related? I have absolutely no explanation for the large objects though. I think we can just let it pass as video game logic. The game's not going to be better if you just remove this feature just because it doesn't really make sense. Now, returning to the actual narrative, our happy buddy has returned and he actually has a song for us. Hey buddy, how are you doing? If you're feeling down, maybe a song will help. La la la, happy la la, glad to be la la, live la la. That was fun, wasn't it? I hope you keep a song in your heart always, for you are smart and kind and important. We end up getting a letter that is clearly not meant for us. Instead, it's addressed to a Mr. Smiley, our happy buddy. Apparently, he has not met his happiness quota, whatever the hell that is. But the more alarming part is that he won't get to see his daughters again unless he somehow lowers the suicide rate in prisons. What the hell do you want from the dude? A magic trick? Anyway, we promptly get an apology, blah blah, corporate lies, blah blah. Our happy buddy quickly follows, clearly just a little bit more desperate than before, but as you might notice, our cell is going dark, and that's because it's time to sleep. We awake to our happy buddy sending us our second game, Fear of Fire, and it's honestly the best of these minigames. None of these games have like any depth to them at all, and to be clear, I'm not complaining about this. These games are purely designed to kill time. And they do a great job at that. Did you think our happy buddy was done with just a game though? No. He also gives us a poster to keep us. How is that blood? This fills me with dread, Mr. Smiley. Surely you've seen this coming. After some time passes, we get introduced to a brand new character, Charlotte, a girl who runs a pastry shop and as of right now, the closest character to our physical location. Salvador continues his travels and our happy buddy starts to get even more desperate, which does not go unnoticed by Dr. Money, so he asks us if we want him replaced. Fortunately, the game doesn't even give us the option, as the phrase "get rid of him" makes me believe that he's going to lose a lot more than his job. Our happy buddy, of course, gets even more desperate to make us happy, which unfortunately has the opposite effect. The way he talks is more unnerving than joyful. He even pleads for forgiveness just because he has not gotten us another game yet. Speaking of which, I beat Fear of Fire, and it's the only game I completed because of my awful control setup. I want to stress how little justice I can do to the middle of this game. For the sake of the video, I'm skipping over or summarizing letters that don't directly move the plot forward, and you would think that this means that those letters are just not important. But no! When you play this game, you cling to every single letter, even if it's not the most thrilling thing, because you don't know how long it's going to be until your next one. For example, I forgot to mention that Salvador is slowly sending us pieces to a table he's making one leg at a time. This does not really move the plot forward, but it is actual progress that you can see in the form of the table becoming more and more complete. It's relieving for you to see a new letter from Salvador, and seeing a new letter from Dr. Money or even our happy buddy can fill you with a sense of dread. Its tension is done really well, and I just can't emulate that in a YouTube video. That being said, it's time to sleep and start. So good news, we have a new game, and it's kind of fun. But while we're trying to play, we get a letter that's just a little bit off.
Just stay happy for me, for the love of all that is holy, stay happy! They're watching.
Okay, buddy, I'm trying, but it's a little difficult when the next letter I need to read is Charlotte telling me all about the people she's seeing choking to death outside her window. On the bright side, though, Dr. Money selling a cure. What could go wrong? It's making it worse. Charlotte makes the really good decision to not leave her pastry shop while the people outside are coughing their lungs out. Congratulations, Charlotte, you just discovered social distancing. After some time, we receive a letter from Dr. Money that kind of comes out of nowhere and feels like the ultimate cope.
Dear prisoner, Dr. Money is taking the time off of his busy schedule to personally tell you that everything is fine.
I don't know why, but I find the line "everything is fine" really comical when paired with Charlotte's accounts of events. Speaking of her, she lets us know that the cure is being sold at ludicrous prices, which, I mean, of course it is. We get our third table leg from Salvador, but more importantly, and the only reason I'm even mentioning this, it's revealed that Salvador will be back in town tomorrow. No, Salvador, don't come back! Good news though, the doctor lowered the cure's price, and it's causing organ failure. Our table gets finished and Salvador starts heading to town, which is really uncomfortable because he has no idea what's happening and we have no way to warn him, which makes his next letter really gut-wrenching.
Where is everyone?
Salvador takes a while to give us any further updates, but in the meantime, our happy buddy has a new game for us.
Morning! I sold my house and my food and one of my lungs, but don't worry. I spent the money on another game for you. Yay! Have fun, be happy.
Honestly, the fact that he sold his lung for this game specifically is horrific because it's so broken that your triangle can get out of the bootleg Game Boy. Okay, maybe aged perfectly was a bit hyperbole. On the bright side, we get to be treated to what is honestly the best portion of the entire game.
I have this old gramophone in my basement. Perhaps it's time to break the silence?
Do you know what's going on out here? The virus, the organs, the blood. Mistakes were made. I, Dr. Money, want to personally apologize for any inconveniences that might have arisen from the virus of our creation. Please accept this framed picture of Money as consolation. People are dying. Their organs are failing because of the antidote to the virus, and everyone is infected. I wonder if I am too. There seems to be a huge market for working organs now. Dr. Money has a big supply and everyone is rushing to the stores, spending all their money. But those organs are not what they seem. Anyone who uses the doctor's organs die a couple of hours later. Where do they come from? What are they? Does it even matter anymore? Are you infected too, friend?
How much of the outside world can you hear in your cell? How high are you even up? I guess I can't know. Just listen closely. Could you hear it from up there? I turned it up extra loud for you. There's no better times than these for a little music, yet I feel lonely. Of course, I could play the music again. But is it worth it? It will never be the same magical moment again. That one moment in between all of the dreary ones. This can't go on forever. I don't even know how many people are dead. I'm afraid to look. I can only see what's outside my window, and I see nothing but blood. I think I'm alone. Everyone's dead. The city's lights are going out. The town has no electricity anymore. The only lights I see are coming from the prison. One more day. Tomorrow evening. Until then, you must come here. If you can't make it, well, I fear this world has no place for me anymore.
We are rushing towards the end of the game now, so once again, this is your chance to slip out to avoid spoilers. Also, the evidently upsetting topics are going to get even worse from now on, so if what you've seen so far makes you even slightly uncomfortable, run. Salvador ended up hearing the gramophone and was going to head to it, but couldn't because Charlotte shut it off. If she just played it again, then Charlotte and Salvador may have met, but unfortunately that's just not how things went. Sal's gonna see us tomorrow, but first, let's sleep.
Tomorrow it'll all end. Goody morning! All good? All fine? I don't care. I am not your friend. I was never your friend. Dr. Money was blackmailing me. He kidnapped my daughters. He told me they were safe. He told me they would be okay as long as I kept you happy. But he lied. My daughters are dead. They died from the virus 2 days ago. I never even got to say goodbye. But to you, I will. You cannot lose hope as I now have. I have another game for you. I don't have the money for such expenses, but there's a huge market for working organs now. I've already sold one of my lungs yesterday, and now I will finish what I started. I signed for them to take all of my organs, money up front. I would not survive the procedure, of course, but that's not important. You are one of the only ones left who are still healthy. Please don't lose hope. I hope you enjoyed the game. I doubt it, because it isn't fun. Like, seriously, not at all. I hope you keep going anyway. Always keep going. Don't give up like me. You never know how much more time you have. Goodbye.
And he is right, this game is by leaps and bounds the worst one yet, and unfortunately, it was the second most playable with my controls. Dr. Money tells us to stay happy despite our happy buddy literally selling all of his organs to buy us a game genuinely worse than Warzone. And you might ask why Dr. Money even cares so much. Well, he's glad to tell ya.
You are worth every penny.
Meanwhile, Sal is working his way towards the prison to break us out, which Dr. Money really does not like. Maybe if he hurries up, we can even meet up with Charlotte.
Friend, I have arrived. Where is your cell? Where are these letters being sent to? I cannot seem to even enter the building. All the doors are locked. I broke in, but the elevator won't come and there are no stairs. It seems that I have no way of getting to however high you are up. There must be a way. It's getting late, friend. Maybe I don't have to get up there. Maybe you could come down here. The lock on your cell door is powered by electricity, which means that if I manage to destroy the prison's generator, you will be free to leave, friend.
Are you coming? Please tell me that you'll come. I'm so lonely. I'm sorry, friend. I'm sorry.
Oh. Your friend tried to destroy the generator. That didn't really work out too well for him, did it? He got electrocuted. Your friend is dead. They all are. Now your cell door may be open. But what do you think leaving will accomplish? This town is dead. You and I are the last ones here. The backup generator only has energy for those red lights, so the door is unlocked now. Just stay in your cell. I will send somebody to fix the generator for you. You will be able to keep playing games on your portable entertainment product without a care in the world. You will be allowed to do whatever you wish to. On one condition. Do not open that door.
For the first time ever, we can walk outside our cell. Making our way to the end of the red-tinted hallway, we find a elevator button. Turns out the entire time our cell was actually the prison's elevator, and we were really, really high up. It's quiet out. Too quiet. It's as though nothing else even exists. That is, except for a pastry shop.
To my only friend. When you read this, I will already be dead. My shop will probably look quite messy. I have decided that I'll go to the back room to die, so you don't have to look at my corpse. I'm sorry that I couldn't be more patient in waiting for you. But that doesn't matter now. What matters is that you're here. Against all odds, you managed to escape the prison. I'm aware this may seem like a bad ending to the story, but you're here. You're here, and I have baked another cake for you. I'm not sure how fresh it'll be when you find this, and for all I know, you never will. But I hope you enjoy it anyway. I wish you the best of luck. Charlotte.
So that was Presentable Liberty. There isn't really a happy ending. If you choose to stay, you get told that you have the only cure to the virus flowing through your veins, and then you die. So, I think it's time for me to address the actual elephant in the room. Unfortunately, the creator of Presentable Liberty took his own life in 2018. I wanted to hold off on mentioning this because if you go into the game with this knowledge, then the entire experience feels off, intimate even. Especially once you consider that everybody that you talk to in this game dies by their own hand, except for maybe Dr. Money. Salvador's death has a little more nuance since it was an accident. I'm sure he didn't mean to die. However, to the best of the player's knowledge, Dr. Money is not in the building with us. So Salvador's death was his own doing. Our happy buddy literally sells his organs, sacrificing himself just to give us a game that, in his eyes at least, is terrible. I feel like there might be a message here, but I'm not gonna go for it. In Charlotte, okay, Charlotte's case is open and shut. We don't even need to go into specifics. So, what is Presentable Liberty even about? Okay, so obviously the game is about an evil corporate entity that releases a virus that ends up wiping out all of humanity. But I would argue that this is just a surface level narrative to actually, well, give the game a narrative to explore its other themes. And I would argue that this is meant to be taken at face value. Okay, so it's basically a skeleton that the rest of the game's messages can build off of. I believe that in truth, Presentable Liberty is a metaphor for mental health and the struggles that come with it, specifically depression. I do want to stress that I myself don't have any severe mental health issues. I have known people with them, but me myself, I just have ADHD and social anxiety, so this is pretty much all speculation. If I come off as disrespectful in any way, that's not my intention. But to me, every character seems to represent an idea or a theme that would be present for somebody with depression. Charlotte seems to be the embodiment of crushing loneliness, and what makes it even more gut-wrenching is how unreasonable she is. She expects somebody who is quite literally locked in prison to come see her. And now, I can't 100% blame her for logging out of the video game when those people choking to death outside, but if she just waited a few more hours, we would have shown up. Hell, even if she just played the gramophone for longer, Sal would have met up with her. She had multiple opportunities to get help, but she self-sabotaged all of them, which I unfortunately think is kind of accurate. Our happy buddy's name is literally Mr. Smiley, a character who was forced to be happy. This character represents toxic positivity, and I don't think there was really any arguing that it doesn't. His entire purpose in the narrative is to make sure you stay happy, no matter what, even if you don't feel like you have any reason to. And of course, he fails. Salvador simply represents a friend. Despite the prison you find yourself in, he reaches out all the same and even tries to free you. Unfortunately though, he destroys himself in the process, and even that isn't quite enough, as you can choose to just not leave the cell. He only cracked the door, you still need to open it. Dr. Money is a strange character to me. In the surface narrative, it is abundantly clear that he is the embodiment and critique of capitalism, and honestly, this character might be meant to be taken at face value, because they appear in other games. I struggled a lot to fit him into this mental health angle because of it, even considering saying that he himself represented the depression as a whole. I think this is wrong. The reason I came to this conclusion is because Dr. Money is the only one in the game who is not 100% confirmed to be dead, at least not in this game. There was also the fact that the second ending where you stay in your cell with Dr. Money is the only one of the two endings where you are confirmed dead, and Starvation does not look like that. This logic was really sloppy, but I was prepared to go with it. That is, until I realized that staying with Dr. Money is not what ended up killing you. It was staying in your cell. The cell itself is the depression metaphor. This is supported by the fact that your cell gets decorated by trinkets from all these characters, embedding reminders of them in your living space. So what is Dr. Money supposed to be then? To be honest, I'm not too sure. My best guess is that he represents the medical industry and specifically medication, considering his name is Dr. Money and he sells an antidote that actually makes things worse. I do think that this is a really pessimistic outlook on medication. I feel like people's experience with these drugs can vary heavily. This leads me to my final question of the video. Is the main ending of Presentable Liberty a positive or a negative one? On surface level, or of course not. Everybody's dead and there seems to be no hope for humanity. But looking at it from the perspective of mental health though, I think it looks hopeful. You left the cell. You escaped. This is the exact thing that Charlotte's final letter praises you for. And when you look at the casualties, then really, Salvador was the most tragic one. Is toxic positivity dying really a bad thing? or feelings of crushing loneliness. We might even be able to put a positive spin on Salvador. Maybe him dying isn't losing the idea of a friend, but rather losing the idea of a friend trying to save you, to break you out of your cell. Presentable Liberty is fascinating to me because I still think about it all these years later. I first seen it in 2014 from that Markiplier video, which if it's appeared in this video a few times, that's why. But even a decade later, it still pops into my brain every now and then, and depending on how this video does, I might cover the other two in the series. Yes, two. Not many people have played the third one, myself included, and to be honest, I'm kind of scared to. But even if this video doesn't do well and it only has like 61 views or something like that, I'm not the first person to have talked about this game, and hopefully I won't be the last. I really do hope more people make videos on it, anything to make sure that this game isn't just forgotten. In good news, there does seem to be a remake in development, but looking at the trailer, it was supposed to release 3 years ago? Guys, you're late! Before I properly close this video out, I do want to repeat a quote that really sticks into my mind when I think about this game. I hope you keep going anyway. Always keep going. Don't give up like me. You never know how much more time you have.